Welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano, and on today's program we will chat with Damaris Dominguez from National Grid and learn all about the Good Neighbor Energy Fund. First though, we check weather and news for you. Currently in Quincy, it is frigid, 16 degrees right now with partly sunny skies. It'll get up into the low 20s today, but that wind will have a bite to it, making it feel like it's in the single digits. Down into the teens this evening with wind chills below zero. And we're in fact kind of a cold, dry stretch of weather right through the weekend. A little warmer tomorrow with sun and clouds, upper 20s. A little warmer still on Sunday, highs into the low 30s, and staying dry and cool on Monday with partly sunny skies, highs Monday at near 30 degrees. Again, 16 in Quincy right now. In the news today, well, the pandemic is forcing a delay in the plans for a new Quincy police station. Mayor Thomas Koch says that instead of later this year, construction on the new public safety complex won't begin until sometime next year. It likely won't be completed until late 2024. The mayor says the pandemic has caused the estimated cost of the complex to rise by at least $20 million. The city council did previously approve $120 million for the new facility. It would replace the existing police station on C Street and also serve as home to the fire department's administration, emergency managed departments, along with a gun range and a 276-space parking garage. Quincy Public Schools will participate in the state's new at-home COVID-19 testing program. Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch says that program will help alleviate the tremendous strain on the school nursing staff.
The schools have been working extremely hard, particularly on the testing. The nurses' offices have been pretty jammed, and nurses trying to keep up with it all. But it's gone well. The pool testing and has been a great tool. This will be a great tool and probably make things more efficient. I know we had a lot of kids that were, coming into school that were sick. And the whole point was for the parents to have them tested. Well, they're coming into the school sick, and that doesn't help, So right. Some of this new way of doing it would eliminate a lot of those issues. So I think it's a good thing. And overall, I've been doing a lot of reading and folks from Mass General, particularly, and the feeling is that we've just about peaked, and this thing is going to plummet quickly, just as it does or has done in a number of countries around the world. So I think that's a good thing, and hopefully, by springtime, we talk about spring being a time of new beginnings. That we really will have some new beginnings and get this thing behind us.
State will provide 26 million rapid at-home tests this month to school districts that opt into the new program. Parents can request that those tests be sent home with their students. Students must be tested once a week, and any positive tests need to be reported to that child's school. Now, the new program would replace the Test and Stay program and contact tracing within the schools. However, the pooled testing and symptomatic testing program would continue. At-home testing will continue through at least the April school vacation. Norfolk County Sheriff Pat McDermott says that his officers recently intercepted and confiscated 35 sublingual strips of Suboxone from an inmate attempting to illegally smuggle the substance into the Norfolk County House of Corrections in Dedham. McDermott says the value inside the jail for this contraband recovered is about $14,000. McDermott said Suboxone is used to treat opioid addiction and can decrease withdrawal symptoms, but he says it is a controlled substance and not authorized for use at the jail. McDermott praised his officers for detecting the drugs and said that his office does continue to support drug recovery efforts, including medication for treatment, a residential substance abuse treatment program, and individual and group counseling. A Boston man has been charged with attacking a woman after she exited the Wollaston T station in Quincy last week. Police say 40-year-old Eric Duarte grabbed the woman as she was walking along Brook Street late last Thursday evening and dragged her into a yard. The woman says Duarte fled when she screamed. She called 911, and a police canine eventually tracked Duarte down on Farrington Street after an extensive search. Police say the woman positively identified Duarte as the man who attacked her. He faces charges of assault with intent to rape and kidnapping. The woman was not seriously hurt. Mannett Community Health Center here in Quincy has installed their new officers and welcomed new members for 2022. During their annual meeting back in December, Grace Murphy McAuliffe was named the president, Larry Flanagan as vice president, Ivan Wong as secretary, and Stephen Ketches treasurer. New members joining the board are Anita Christie from Quincy and Nancy Rybeck of Hull, a retired nursing executive. Coming up, we sit down and chat with Damaris Dominguez of National Grid and learn all about the Good Neighbor Energy Fund. That's next. Welcome back. The perfect day today to talk about the Good Neighbor Energy Fund as a way to help you pay your heating and energy bills this winter because it's 16 degrees and we're right in the middle of January, the coldest time of the year. So we welcome Damaris Dominguez from National Grid to tell us a little bit about this fund and how it might be able to help you or you might be able to help it. So Damaris, thanks for coming over.
Thank you for inviting me and giving me the platform to be able to talk about the program.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. We've talked about the program on this show in the past, but it's always good, I think, to remind folks that it is available and it is a way to help you pay the what is getting to be very expensive heating and energy bills this winter. So first, if you could give us kind of a little overview of what the Good Neighbor Energy Fund is.
Sure. So it's a program that's been around for actually 37 years. We're in our 37th year. And it's a collaboration of the Massachusetts energy utility companies along with their customers, because it's an effort between the customer and the utility companies that come up with actual donations to help with the fund. It is administered by the Salvation Army. That is who we have, who administers the entire program.
Right.
And they actually will take the donations, they manage the donations that come in, they manage the actual application process from the intake to the actual approvals of the applications, as well as then the administration of releasing the funds for people that have been approved. And it's there for a temporary crisis for people who are experiencing, maybe because of the pandemic, they may have lost their jobs, a cut of hours. It's there to help them during that time of need. And this particular time, the grant is actually $500. So it's a one-time grant.
Okay.
That goes directly to your energy company.
Okay.
It gets mailed to the energy company directly.
Okay. Is that an increase, do you know, from years
It
past?
is. It is an increase. Last year's grant was, I think it was either 300 or 350, but it was in that range.
Oh, all right.
So it's a big increase this year.
Yeah.
We had some extra funds available. We do want to be able to help at least 1,200 to 1,250 households this heating season. So that's what the fund is there, is to really help out our customers in their time of need.
Okay. And is it statewide, do you know?
It is. It is statewide
Okay.
in Massachusetts. And again, all utility companies participate.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter who's your utility company, it's there. It's also there for people that do not qualify for state and federal funding.
Oh, all right.
So for state and federal funding, you have to be a certain income guideline, right? And this, you might be just slightly over that income guideline and you feel like you have nowhere else to turn. The Good Neighbor Energy Fund is really helpful for those families.
Okay, and as you said, it might be folks who are finding themselves in that situation for the first time.
Absolutely,
you know,
and I mean, and the
problem
income
before.
guideline is really generous.
Yeah.
You have to fall between 60 and 80% of the state median income, and for a family of four, your income, your gross yearly income, can be between $78,752 all the way up to $105,001.
Okay.
So that's a really huge range.
It is, indeed, and that would include a lot of people. Is that just for the previous year, for 2021, or how does that work?
So it would be, so whatever when you apply,
Yep.
you do have to show proof of income.
Okay.
So it's either your most recent pay stub, so then they'll
Okay.
add that up to see where you fall within the income guideline,
Yep.
or your last W-2,
Okay.
or tax return.
Okay.
So we're in the new tax season, so people are starting to get their W-2, so it'll be probably based on 2021.
Okay. And do you know, are the guidelines different as well from years past? Have those changed?
No, the guidelines haven't changed.
Okay.
The income guidelines usually they'll fluctuate, right? Because the state and medium income always does fluctuate,
right.
changes every year. But other than that, the other guidelines are the same.
Okay. All right. And how do folks apply?
They should find their local Salvation Army chapter, or they can go to www.magoodneighbor.org to find where their local chapter is.
Okay.
The application process is very simple. It's a one-page application where they just have to provide their name, their address, and then, as I said, provide proof of income, which would be your latest pay stub, W-2 form, or tax return. And then they have to provide a proof of ID.
Okay.
And there was one more thing, proof of ID.
Do you have to show your energy bills?
Yes, thank you. That was it. That's important.
Okay.
And your most recent energy bill.
Okay.
Because, again, the grant gets mailed directly to the energy company.
Yeah, which I think it provides a comfort both for the recipient, but also people who are donating to the fund. That way they know that the money is being used for what it's intended
Correct.
for. You
Yep.
know,
Yes.
there's no question. And the folks that are getting the benefit know that their bill's going to get paid.
Right, they don't have to worry about it.
Right.
You know, they don't have to. It goes directly to the company, so they don't have to worry about, the check's going to come to me, then I have to mail
Right.
it to the company. It'll go directly to the energy company.
Yeah. Now, should the recipient kind of notify, like, say, National Grid that, hey, I'm getting some help from the Good Neighbor Energy Fund, be on the
They
lookout
can.
for this?
They can. They can. If you have some issues with your utility
Yeah.
bills, you can call the company and say, I've put in an application, it's in process, and sometimes we'll put a suspension on an account to
Yeah.
give you enough time to complete the application process.
Okay. And it's a good idea to follow up just to make sure. Yeah.
You can, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. The application process is fairly simple,
Okay.
like I said, and it usually, once you fill out your application, more than likely a good portion of the time, by the time you leave, you will know if you're approved or not.
Oh, all right.
And then it takes between 7 to 10 days to get the actual funds to the energy company.
Pretty quick. Okay.
It is. The turnaround is fairly quick.
Yeah. And do they expire, Damaris? Do the funds expire, or how long are they?
They
good
don't
for?
expire.
No.
They're there. So it's not only during the winter season.
what I'm thinking,
The
yeah.
funds are available till they run out.
Okay.
So if we happen to run, because I'm hoping, right, that we get a lot of people that we're able to, that maybe we even go the goal that we have, which is 1,250 households.
Yeah.
It'd be great if we
Had more.
had more people
Yeah.
to assist. So as long as there's funding, the program is open.
Okay, because I'm thinking, your monthly bill might not be $500.
Right.
It might be $250.
Right, but you still get a $500 grant. So
Okay.
if let's say you only owe $250, then you'll have a credit for
Okay.
your following bill.
All right. So
That's
and Salvation Army holds that in escrow?
No,
or-
they will send the full $500.
Oh, all right.
And then that goes into your utility, your energy company will have that already there. And if you don't owe the full 500, then it'll stay
They'll
as a
hold it
credit.
until the next
Correct.
billing cycle and then apply it at that time. Okay. Seems pretty straightforward.
It is,
Yeah.
it is.
How is the health of the fund itself? In
The
terms
health of the fund
donations?
is very good,
It is.
which is why they were able to increase the grant for this year to $500.
Yes. Okay.
And the way that you can donate as a customer, as just everybody can be a good neighbor, right? And the way that you can do that is by sending in a donation. And
Right.
it doesn't matter, there is no minimum requirement
Okay.
for the donation. It could be $1 if that's what you can afford. It is tax deductible.
Okay.
And you can do that by either, each utility usually does a campaign every year, and you'll get a green envelope in with your utility bill. You
Yes.
can use that to send in a donation, or you can go to the website, the
Okay.
www.magoodneighbor.org website, and provide a donation on the site. And then some utility companies actually have a dollar up. So if your bill was like $30.50, you can have them round it up,
Oh.
and that roundup would go to the fund.
Oh, okay. All right. And can you donate directly to the Salvation Army too and specify?
In care of.
Good
Yep,
Neighbor
in care
Energy
of the
Fund?
Good Neighbor Energy
Okay,
Fund.
because we have a
yes.
chapter right here in Quincy,
Yes.
Salvation Army.
Yep. Well, the fund should, if you're going to mail it in like that, it needs to go to the actual big chapter.
Oh, okay. All
And
right.
they are located at, I do have that somewhere here in this.
There's an actual physical
Yes, there is
address.
an actual physical address. Here it is.
Okay.
It is, if you're going to mail it in, it's to the Good Neighbor Energy Fund. The check should be made out to. And it goes to care of the Salvation Army to 25 Sharma Road, Sharma, SHAWMUT Road in Canton, 02021.
Okay. All right. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
How is the actual fund structured, Damaris, in terms of the governmental structure? Who oversees it? Is there a board? Is there
So there is a board,
trustees? Okay.
which I'm on the board. There's a board, so each utility company has a representative on the board.
Okay.
And we have monthly meetings, and we go over the financials, what's going in, what's coming out, what's coming in, what's going out.
Right,
And
yeah.
how many applications we have, and things like that. So
What are those numbers right now? How much is in the fund? How many applications have you had so far?
I don't have those
Okay.
numbers available.
All right.
Yep.
Is there a deadline to apply?
There is no deadline. Like
Okay.
I said, the fund is open up until the funds run out.
Okay.
So it could be way into the summer. Maybe we still have funding, and you might have still a utility crisis,
Right.
and you can still apply during the summer.
Yeah. Okay.
Now the campaign to raise money that starts every year. So usually in November is when we start the campaign to start raising money, and envelopes go out, I think, in January. So
Okay.
this month.
Okay. But I'm assuming, a lot of folks now are doing online bill
Yes,
paying,
right,
so they
exactly.
probably won't get that envelope. So if they do want to donate, they can go to that website.
To the website.
Okay.
Yes.
Very
yes.
good. What if you're denied? Is there an appeal process? Say if your financial situation changes from the time you applied to the time you're denied?
So if you were denied because of income you didn't meet the income guidelines, and then something changed, absolutely you can come back in and reapply.
Okay.
With your new financials.
Okay. And is it for all heating types?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Oil, gas,
Yes.
electric,
Absolutely.
wood. Okay.
Yes. So it's for all heating types.
Okay, and again, it goes right to your
To
provider.
the provider. Yes.
Seems pretty straightforward.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
37 years now, so.
I know. So we're doing something right.
Yeah. Can you apply every year? Can you get a
You
benefit
can.
every year? Okay.
You can apply. You can't apply for the same heating season.
Gotcha.
But you can apply every year.
Okay. You're with National Grid.
I am.
The provider for both electricity and gas here in the city of Quincy.
Yes.
What's going on with National Grid in Quincy?
So we actually have several programs that can help customers if they're experiencing some difficulties right now. The main one that I'd like to promote is our discount rate.
Okay.
So we do offer a discount rate. So for your gas, it's 25% off your gas bill, and for your electric, it's 32% off your electric bill.
Really?
And so that's a huge savings.
significant, yeah.
Exactly, especially with
The
the
cost's
increase
so
of
high
costs.
right now, yeah.
Exactly. And it's off the entire bill, so it's not just off a section.
Okay.
It's off the entire bill.
Okay.
And in order to be eligible for the discount, you do have to be receiving a means-tested program. So what does that mean? It means if you receive SNAP, fuel assistance. Actually, if you receive fuel assistance, you're automatically getting the discount rate because we do a file exchange automatically
Oh, all right.
with fuel assistance. WIC, if you receive WIC, Mass Health, those are the main ones.
Okay.
But there are also smaller programs that are also eligible, but those are really the main ones. Social Security, Supplemental Security Income,
Yep.
SSI, also known as SSI,
Yep.
not Social Security Disability.
Okay.
People always confuse them. Disability is not a qualifier.
It's not, okay.
But Supplemental Security Income is.
Okay.
The application process is very easy. It's one page, and you just have to provide your account number, your name, what program are you receiving, and then a copy of your benefit card
Okay.
to get the discount.
Okay.
And that's it.
And that's the ngrid.com/billhelp
Yes, they
website?
can go
Okay.
onto that website and complete the application process. I do want to promote
Please.
our forgiveness program, which
Okay.
is our arrears management program. That is the best program that we can offer people that are low income. You do have to be on the discount rate in order to be eligible for this program. And what it is if you owe over $300 and your bill is over 60 days overdue, and you're on the discount rate, you're eligible for this program.
Okay.
And what we do is you're pretty much put on a budget. So we look at the last 12 months of your bill and put you on a budget, and that will be your monthly payment to pay your utility usage going forward so that you don't continue to get behind. And for every month that you make that on-time payment, a portion of your bill is forgiven. We will forgive up to $12,000.
Really?
Yes, so that's huge.
Yes, it is.
That is, and we went up to, we used to forgive $4,000, and then when the pandemic hit, we really knew people were going to be in a lot of need. So we had that forgiveness amount increased to $12,000.
Okay.
So let's say you owed $12,000
Yeah.
and your average bill is $100. For every month that you pay $100, you will get a $1,000 credit to go towards that $12,000 balance.
Really?
Yes.
And at the end of that year,
And
you'll
that
be-
in the end of that year, that $12,000 balance has been forgiven in total.
Okay.
And hopefully that budget has kept up with your actual usage, and you'd be good.
Right. Wow. So it's not a new program. It's
No,
just
it's
an
not a
improved
new program.
Okay.
It's been around, and most utility companies offer some type of a variety of a forgiveness program.
Yeah.
National Grid has had a forgiveness program for several years.
Okay.
We just changed some of the rules because of the pandemic. We've made it easier for customers to reapply, as well as the forgiveness amount has been increased.
So, I mean, it seems like the best rule of thumb is don't ignore it.
No.
If you're having trouble paying. right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, there are programs available for you. You just have to really get out there and seek them.
Right.
Give us a call. Go to the ngrid.com/billhelp. It'll have different varieties. It'll provide you with what we are offering. And you can speak to any of our customer service agents.
Okay.
And they'll be able to help you as well.
Is it true that you cannot shut off somebody's utility in the wintertime?
So if you're in a protected status account,
Yeah.
which, what does that mean? Protected status is accounts that are on the discount rate are
Yep.
considered protected status. If you have a medical protection,
Oh,
that's considered a protected status. Infant protection,
Okay.
elderly,
Elderly.
those will not be shut off during what we call the winter moratorium. So winter moratorium starts usually around November 15th up through April,
Okay.
unless the Department of Public Utilities extends it.
okay.
And they did last year. We went a whole year without disconnecting services because of the pandemic.
Right. Yeah.
So yes,
Okay.
right now there is a protection for protected status
Okay.
customers.
Okay. But I mean, eventually you do have to address it if you're having an
Absolutely,
issue because
yes.
it won't go away.
And
yeah.
we always encourage everyone, regardless of whether you have a protected account or not, these programs like the forgiveness program, a regular payment plan, maybe even you're up to date, but maybe going on a budget will help you kind of
Okay.
keep you on track, because then you know how much your monthly bill is going
Yeah.
to be. So that's also always a good program for customers to apply for.
Okay. And is there an income eligibility for that?
For a budget, no.
There
Anyone
isn't.
can go
Okay.
on a budget. And that's, again, they take your last 12 months
Mm-hmm.
of your usage, they divide that, whatever your average is, and that will be how much you will pay for the next, it gets reviewed every 6 months.
Okay.
So in the 6th month, they'll look to see, hey, is this on track? Are you paying enough?
Yeah.
Are do we need to raise it, lower it? Maybe it can stay the same.
Yeah.
And then at the 12th month, if there's still a balance, you'll receive a true-up bill.
Okay. And just take care of it for the year. Okay.
Correct.
So there's many different options available.
There are.
Yeah.
There is. Obviously, there's the fuel assistance program that's always, people should always take advantage of. That helps with your your heating source
Right.
as well. So, and this past year, for customers that actually did receive fuel assistance, they had a lot of leftover funds and they got grants from the federal government for COVID, so they got extra money, grants,
Yep.
that got paid towards their electric bills, not just their heating source.
Okay.
So the funding is out there.
Yeah.
You just really have to get out there and apply for them.
So yeah, well, for fuel assistance here in Quincy, it's administered by Quincy
Quincy
Community Action
Community
Programs.
Action, absolutely
Yeah,
right, yep.
So that's a good agency to go to as well if you're having
Yes,
difficulty to see if
yes.
you qualify for those programs.
As well as like a home energy assessment, right?
Yep.
If you qualify, you can get an energy audit done and get, if you need to have your refrigerator replaced, air conditioning, they'll replace air conditioning, washing machine,
Yes.
Boiler,
Right.
furnace. So it's a big program, and it really does help.
Yeah. As does the
Customers
Good
in
Neighbor
need.
Energy Funds,
Yes,
right?
as does the Good Neighbor Energy
Yes, excellent.
Yes.
magoodneighbor.org again is the main website.
Fund. Yes, it is.
And just check and see if you're eligible and apply, right? There's no cost to
Absolutely.
apply.
Nope, no cost to apply.
Okay.
Just go on to, you can go to the website, and it'll have the income guidelines for your household.
Okay.
And if you fall within that guideline, absolutely find your local chapter and
Okay.
get in and apply.
And from the looks of the forecast, Damaris,
I know.
we're going to need our heat for a little while longer at least.
Yes, we are. We really are.
Thank you so much. Anything else we should let folks know about?
No, I think we've
Okay.
covered it all. Like I said, there's different programs, not only with the Mass Good Neighbor Energy Fund, but along with National Grid. Take advantage of them, because the money is there. You just have to get out
Reach
there
out and apply for
reach
it.
out and apply for it.
Thanks for coming over. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for the time
You're very welcome.
to inform our customers and your community.
Stay warm.
Absolutely, you too.
Thank you. Another check on the forecast for you. It's going to be hard to stay warm today, that's for sure, with temperatures only in the low 20s and wind chills in the single digits, down to the teens again tonight with bitter cold weather. It'll stay dry right through the weekend and seasonable, I would say, near 30 tomorrow, mid-30s Sunday, and around 30 on Monday. Thanks again going out to Damaris Dominguez from National Grids. Thanks to our crew. Thank you for watching. Monday here in the program, Quincy Tourism Director Dagny Ashley will be with us. Until then, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great weekend.